Hey y'all, so it has been a journey for the last couple of weeks. Um, my stepdad has been really aggravated and it's been a challenge. The work schedule has changed, so I'm like pretty much doing like 16 hours or better. It'll start like literally, I want to say next week. It'll be like a full shift um, on top of my regular shift. So, been trying to make arrangements of getting my car fixed, trying to figure out this work schedule, in the process of doing a couple interviews to kind of see like what I have as my options. Went to the doctor because my neck has been bothering, also probably due to all of the stress that I've been having to, endure. Talked to a couple of PA programs which evaluated me and basically said that I would have to like take all of my prereq courses over because they are now expired. Um, Found straight line at a low cost for taking some basic classes or the prereq courses over. Not even sure if it would be efficient enough for PA school to get my GPA up that way. But still on the wait list for the PA school in North Carolina. Um, and just really just been trying to be a transparent person and just be who I am today and what I hope to be in the future. Um, like I said, it's been a challenge. I haven't really talked too much about the reason I don't, I guess, talk about marriage as much or any of that. So when I was about 18 or 19, my feelings got hurt. Like I had wanted to get married so bad. Um, Thought I was in love and all this good stuff, right? Heart got broken. This person that I had pretty much known since I was like in ninth grade when I first met him, when he transferred to my school in high school. Um, and later, some years later, ended up, wanting to date me, whatever. But the crazy part about it, he like one of my friends. Um, and even to this day, I was like, why didn't you just go with the friend that you like? I was always that girl who was like the potential, but it was like never the it for that person. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, um, we were having a conversation. A situation had came up, and so we was having a conversation, and basically he was like, "I ain't never want to marry you. I mean, don't mind having kids with you. Just uh, I don't want to marry you." I had spent at that time about 4 going on 5 years with him, but we broke up before we even made it to 5 years. Um, and then even after we broken up, like it was, I'll do better. Like we can start over, we can move, da 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 da, like all this stuff. But then when I was like, no, a lot of no's happened, a lot of rejection happened. I had to forgive. I'm sure whatever he had to forgive, he forgave, hopefully. But if not, like I ask for forgiveness and I can live with my life. So many things, so much drama that I had to deal with when I was that age, so young. So, when he, made that comment about he never wanted to marry me, um, it made me look at life a different way. Look at, do I even want to get married? Am I even ready for marriage? And I felt like I was ready for marriage, but the person that I was with was just not that person. He was not the it person for me. He was not my person. Um, Fast forward some years later, I was in this, nice relationship. It was very stable for the most part. I mean, I had my days, my ups and downs. My negativity would kick in sometimes, or my doubt, or my insecurities, or my fears. Um, and so, anyways, spent 6 years in that relationship. And, that the question would always come up. So when y'all get married, da da da, like, and I'm like, well, ask him, because he's the guy, he's the man. He knows, what he wants. At least I would hope so. Anyways, we spent 6 years, and then basically he told me that he was not ready to get married. And in my mind, I was like, I don't want to continue in a relationship and, just keep waiting around. And I know that that's not something that you want right now. I don't want to spend another 10 more years or 5 more years waiting to figure out if we're going to get married or not. Um, and so, I buried myself in work and school and kind of let the relationships be what it was. It was to the point that I just didn't even want to be in a relationship because I was like, I have dealt with so many different things that it's just like too much, And even after that relationship, years later, I thought I was getting married, and then that was like an epic fail. It actually had kind of changed my mindset about marriage and, oh, I could do this, you know what I'm saying? Um, and, that was, a sad thing. And then the more recent ex boyfriend that passed, Ephraim, he wanted to get married. He wanted to get married rather quickly. And I was like, okay, let's slow down and actually get to know each other before we start saying, I do. Um, and sometimes I do wish that we would have gotten married because I really do believe that he would have been properly buried. He would have, everything would have been pretty much together for him. And he would have been honored the way he should have been honored. And it's sad that, sometimes we're in these relationships and then something happens to this person and now you can't do anything because you're not the wife or you're not, you don't have any guardianship over this person. Um, and, he made mistakes like anybody else. I make mistakes. He made mistakes. But one thing that I can say, yes, I was truly down for that man. I was definitely in love with him, and it's been will be a full year this year, going into 2 years of him not being here, and it's definitely something that I have adjusted to, gotten used to. It's definitely different because I'm used to him by now. Nina, what are you doing? We're about to go out, get ready. You want to go to church with me? Just being a jokester and full of life, just has so much energy that I'm just like, I was not used to the energy that he brought to the table, but he was definitely someone that even me out and allowed me to be mellow. And yeah, we argue, we had our moments. I mean, what couple doesn't do that? Um, and now fast forward to now, I am in a much healthier relationship, in a much better headspace. Of course, we have our moments too, but I think with the growth that I've had over these 10 years or so has really allowed me to, see who I am as a person, what I can deal with, tolerate. Um, I don't come on here too often because my schedule has been kicking my butt. But when I do have time and try to catch up with things, I do my best to do so. Um, and I really do appreciate all the support that you all have been giving me. You know, my audience is definitely different from my platform on Periscope. Periscope, like, it was, I don't know how many people I had on Periscope, but YouTube is a little bit slower. And I don't know, I don't talk about a lot of stuff, but I guess I'll talk about real life, real stuff that has happened to me, and try to, help someone else try to, do better, not have a situation, not, get themselves in a jam, not get caught up in, the narcissist relationship, or get caught in an abusive relationship, or get caught in, I'm just wasting time, like, time cannot be given back. Like, you have to cherish every moment like it's your last moment. You really do. You have to appreciate from the time you wake up and smell, the airs, when you walk outside, when you can thank God for being able to have a house over your head or a vehicle to get you back and forth to work. Like, so many different things, happen in life. And I mean, and I've never been the type of person to, try to judge anybody or any of that. I don't really, really look at, things in that season, really, because everybody has a different season. Everybody's in a different walk of life. Everybody's having different, spiritual journeys or whatnot, life and journeys. When you put it out there in the atmosphere, thinking positive. I mean, I understand it's hard for a lot of us, you know. And the crazy part about it, growing up and, seeing, oh, looking at the movie stars and, their relationships, if they have healthy ones. And they have a few that, do have healthy relationships that, grew while they were out there in Hollywood making money, whatever they were doing. You have the influencers on YouTube and wherever else, whatever other platforms are out there. And, the one thing that I have to say is that people, at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions. Y'all are grown. And it doesn't even make sense why we are arguing or fighting about other people and their life and their situation. You talk about Cardi B, for instance, and what she got going on. Okay, but in real life, nobody really knows what's going on behind the closed doors. You see the pictures, you see what the paparazzis put out there in news, and then, whatever TMZ uncovers, they, share that story. But like, real deep inside a person, a relationship, we don't have a clue what they go through. No clue. They're right now they're talking about what's going on with Halle Bailey and her situation, her relationship. It's her business. Nobody wants to be, we already got our own lives, and why is we so concerned about what other people got going on? Like, they ain't paying none of y'all bills. Y'all not paying none of their bills. You don't know the expenses that they have to, deal with when it comes to trying to keep their stuff private and what they got to go through just to have some privacy and some thought. Like everybody have to think for themselves for once. Like you have to deal with what you got going on in your own world. We aren't in their world. We're not there every day. We're not in their face. We don't talk to them every day. So why do it matter what they put on online, what they say, whatever they post? Like, why do we have to make comments about what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is saying? Because if you look at your real life and what you got going on, it ain't no better than them folks over there, them folks up in Hollywood, them folks that's in the neighborhood, them folks in the rich, area, whether you in urban, the suburbans, country, whatever. All all everywhere around the world, people got something going on. That ain't nothing new. Listen, we was talking about one of the family members, I think, had just had a baby or whatnot, and then she took on her sister who passed her child. So now she has her adoptive niece, which is now her daughter, and her own child. And like I know back in the day, old school, like it wasn't appropriate to like have a baby without being married, da 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 da. Okay, child, this is 24. If you grown an adult and you know what the consequences are, and that's what you choose to do, well then that's your choice. It's your body. Just like, the government want to talk about controlling what a woman does or can do. But at the end of the day, you're not carrying a baby for 9 months. You're not, having to be on some government assistant to try to help you, get to your appointments or help you pay to have this baby in a hospital that costs an arm and a leg. Like it costs an arm and a leg to have a baby in a hospital. It costs an arm and a leg to go to the hospital. And then you still got to figure out childcare, which is an arm and a leg. Like, come on, people. Make this make sense. Like, why are y'all trying to be all up in the households when y'all can't even run the freaking government? Y'all can't even run that correctly. Y'all argue about the same stuff, just say it in different term analogy. You talk about, gun safety and gun violence, but then you turn around and you still want to sell the guns, or you still want to put them out in the streets. They still end up getting them some kind of way. They still end up shooting people. And then you turn around and then you want to talk about, well, women health and rights should be taken away from them. They shouldn't be able to have an abortion. Okay, well, sir and ma'am, when you can tell me how much it costs to go to the hospital, have a baby, be here for 9 months, and then after the 9 months, go through, postpartum depression, all this random stuff that end up happening with some of these mothers who don't get the proper help and making sure their mental health is stable, and then turn around and now they on government assistance. You keep saying, well, we don't want y'all to be on this, so you try to set stipulations and limit help. And then you get mad when you do that, because now the person can't really even afford to take care of the child, take care of themselves. The jobs don't want to pay nothing. You can't hardly afford, child care. And now we got even more issues. Then, you got to also think about the education. The system with the education is terrible. They're not teaching the kids like they supposed to. Now they, got these kids that can't think. They don't make rational decisions or logical decisions. They don't make, it easy for the parents to like help them with the homework, because now what they are teaching them in the classroom is not what the parents learned. Now you have a society that is even getting pushed back even further in education, thinking, being able to do things in society. And then you want to push that on to more people, and then you wonder why so many people are, I'm not voting because they don't even understand half of the stuff that they voting for, or they're they've been educated but now they are against voting, and they don't even understand the whole purpose and the process of why people were fighting so hard to have these rights, why these women, were trying to have rights, why, you had all of these different groups coming together trying to kind of pave the way for the younger generation. Now you got the younger generation that don't want to vote, don't want to work, don't know how to do anything, independent on their parents to do everything, because now the government has stepped in and told them that they are abusing these children. And so now, since they felt like they were abusing children, now you turn all of this stuff into just giving the kids what they want. So because you are giving them what they want, now they don't even know how to work hard for it. They don't know how to, earn. They don't understand the concept of what it means to work hard and to earn stuff. They don't understand you have to work in order to get something. You can't just go and say, I'm taking this. Or, oh, you see it and I want this. No, that's not how this works. This is not how it works. We have to pay taxes. We have to buy homes for ourselves. We have to find jobs. We have to be able to, educate ourselves. We have to educate ourselves on finances. We have to educate ourselves on different topics that makes this world go round. And we don't have that. We don't have the solid foundations anymore. We don't have the laws that make sense anymore. The laws are just catering to the people who have money now. At least in my opinion, it feels like, the more that you make money, the more that the laws are catering to you. And even with you being minority, they don't look at you as being equal to a white man that has a whole bunch of money. Um, you know, and then they already don't look at, women and men being equal, because one, women can never really be equal to a man. We do a lot of work, but we can never do some of the harder work that the men do. So, you got all of this going on. And then you have, family members like my stepdad who has sons who don't do anything in society, don't come visit their, father. They, depend on somebody else to take care of them. They just kind of leave you hanging, no support, no nothing. And then you try to think in your mind, like, what happened that caused the sons not to come visit. And then you look back and you say, well, their dad didn't go visit their mama, which was their grandmother. So because he didn't do it, now they don't come and see him. But the younger son should come up and see his father, because my mama set the foundation for him to be able to see what it was to go visit his grandmother. But he doesn't even bother to come and see his daddy. He worried about, drinking, probably, maybe going to work when he feels like going to work, maybe seeing his kids when he feel like seeing his kids. The other one, on the other hand, his health is not so good. He has, seen his kids as best he could when he could, if the baby mother would allow him to. So, so now you got all of this going on. You trying to figure out, like, how can you make it make sense? And then, And it's nobody's fault but the parents and the parents before that, because now it's like a generation after generational curse that won't let go, won't change, don't want to do anything. Like the mindset of these folks, I'm not understanding. I don't understand the mindset of the people. I don't understand like how people just sit here and think that this is okay. You should want to participate and take care of the person that took care of you the best way they knew how to. Even with my cousin, he don't call, he don't check on nobody. He out here doing whatever he doing, and then he contacts the our uncle, talk to him about whatever he gonna talk to him about, and then my uncle try to be the messenger and send the messages back to my mama. Stop doing that. Like, if you don't want to be bothered, that's fine. Nobody cares. Look, I am 37, about to be 40, and you at your age, at 50 some years old, and you acting like you 20 or like you still a teenager. You got some issues. I done seen a lot of people that was older than me and acted like they was teenagers. I kid you not. I mean, literally step that low or steep that low to be on a teenager's level or thinking. Like, and then you get mad when somebody call you old. Or you get mad when somebody call you a kid. Or you get mad when you are, being or feel like you being disrespected. But reality says what it says. Be who you are as a person. Try to learn who you are. Deal with the stuff that you have and try to get rid of as much baggage as possible, because you know what, at the end of the day, you have to get rid of that baggage. And you can't bring it into no relationship. You cannot bring it into the next, you know, chapter in your life. You cannot bring it into the next whatever you got going on. Like, you have to really be real about who you are, what you want to deal with, what you want to tolerate. You have to find that niche, or that that one thing that makes you just be happy for real. Um, whether it's cooking, whether it's eating food, tasting wine, live your best life. Enjoy your life. But also give back to the people who helped you. I spent most of my days, visiting my aunt, making sure she was clean, help with whatever it was that I could help with while I was doing all of this busy stuff: work, school, relationships, all of that, dad issues. And then turn around and you be like, man, that's crazy that other people don't think that way. They think like, oh, well, somebody else can do this. But guess what? These same people who are taking care of your people, they got families too that they are taking care of. They got mental issues going on daily because they can't even get themselves a break or two. And then they have to go into work and be strong. They have to go to their, kids' school and try to figure out what's going on, why they having issues, why they are, you know, having behavior problems, why they keep acting out, or why they, having mishaps and fighting and this and that. Like, it's never a dull moment that, at least as a woman, you don't get a break. You don't get a day off. You are constantly moving and going every single day, always helping somebody, always taking care of somebody, always looking out for somebody, always making sure that somebody else is doing what they're supposed to do. And nobody is looking out for you. Nobody is helping you. Nobody is making sure your mental is good. Nobody is sitting there saying, did you remember to do this? Did you eat today? Are you okay today? Like, none of that stuff is being happening. But you are making sure that everybody is good. You are making sure that everybody's okay. You making sure everybody's eating. And then it just turns into like this cycle of you always working, 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 and not ever having a break to be like, can I breathe? Can I just have a day off? Can I just have some peace of mind? Can it be just quiet? Can you just go to sleep? Can you just have a day that somebody say, let me rub your feet or let me paint your toes? You don't get none of that. You gotta always pay out of pocket. You always spending money to try to be the best version and the best you that you can be. And sometimes you get tired. Even Cardi was talking about, how women are so mean to one another. And we are. We are. We are very mean to one another. We mean if you smaller, if you look skinny, if you got a big butt, or if your boobs look like they fake, or you wear weave, oh, you don't have no hair, this, that. Like, stop doing that. Like, we should be old enough to be like, this is what this person want to do, and that's what they want to do. Okay, they wear weave. So what? There's a lot of us wear weave. If we get our hair braided, it's weave in our hair. We not braiding our actual hair. We could if we wanted to, but then we know how long our hair is gonna be. So, it's so many different layers that is on people that they just don't even realize. Like, if you take the layers off of yourself, then you probably would be a better person, because then that would mean that you will leave other people out your mouth. You will leave other people business where it needs to be at. If they want to talk about their business, that's them. But every person don't have to make a comment about what somebody else is going through. You know, we don't talk about when people, lose their spouses or their significant others, and how they have to grieve and go through a whole mental breakdown and try to figure out how to get their life back in order and to figure out what that feels like. We don't talk about when we lose our parents and all the stuff that we have to deal with to get that in order and make sure that it's correct and right for us to be able to move on. Like, we don't have none of that. And we sit here and we argue about unnecessary arguments that if you're not going to change it, if you're not going to make it or improve it, why are we having a discussion about it? Why are we having discussions about stuff that was already put into law or placed into discussion years and years ago? Why haven't we even set up here and updated our Constitution? When we do that, update some stuff that's like literally starting to be out of date. How about that? Or let's have a discussion about the seriousness of why our children are behind in education and why everybody else is being, you know, a hit and miss when it comes to education. Oh, that school gets more money than this school over here because they stay, on the border of poverty level. Or, I'ma serve over here because, there's more investors in this area. Like, let's talk about these things that are never talked about. Let's talk about those. And then let's find solution for those issues or those problems or the things that are minor that can easily be fixed, but we choose not to get them fixed. Let's talk about this water situation that we had in the Flint area and then in other areas in the open county or wherever that, the water was filthy and nasty. Let's talk about why we don't have clean water. But we are in the United States of America. We are a diverse country. We supposed to be the land of the free, however it don't feel like it some days. Some days it feel like we is back in slavery, just in a sophisticated way. just undercover. Oh, well, you free, but not really, because we still paying taxes. We still got to do this. If you don't pay taxes, you go, you serve some kind of, jail sentence or some kind of fine, or something happens to you. It's so many different things going on in our world and in this country. And it's almost like people just don't even see what's going on. Look at our jobs and our food. Look at our bills. Why is our debt in trillions of dollars? We ain't got all the debt, and we in the United States of America. Why are we even in debt? We should be learning how to budget and get that in order. America should be educated on credit cards and finance. America should be educated on guns, and then what leads to gun violence. The what, why, how, when, what we can, like all of these things that need to be addressed, we're not addressing them. And then we, sweep it under the rug like that's okay. That's not okay. Let's talk about our medical field and how we don't have hardly no blacks in certain positions, because pretty much they feel like we incompetent. We don't know anything. So they don't give us the jobs. And we as people, or as that person, we don't fight for our rights to get the job. Or we feel like we're, maybe because we don't have enough experience, we don't deserve the job. But we do deserve the job because we went to school for it. We learned and was taught what they claim supposed to help you be able to get a job. And then it's up to the employers to train you how they would like you to operate and how the processes work. They still they should be obligated to train you and make sure that you know how to do your job, so that if something happens to you, you can train someone else. And somebody else should be able to train somebody else if something happens to them. It should always be a ladder of people who knows what to do and how and what someone else is doing, so that they don't never fall behind or have to, figure out, well, what was that person doing? Because I know I was doing this, this, and this, but now it's like, what do you do? This person now has left. So now I got to figure out what other things was happening at that particular time. The reason that person left. And then these jobs, they are so ridiculous. They're not supportive. They don't care nothing about your mental, for real, some of them, and so when you are, having issues, or, now it's affecting you mentally, they just look at you like, well, this is what you have to do. This is required. It's required, or are you now making this a no rule for me to have added requirements? So it's a lot of things that as people, as America, we don't talk about. We don't talk about the behind scenes when other people that's up there in the top are looking at the little people, not concerned too much about if you making it or not. Not for real. Because if that was the case, the people that's up there would be helping the middle people, the lower people. They would help them climb up the ladder just like they up there. They don't want everybody up there at the ladder. That's, this is a prime example of why we have different languages. Because everybody was talking all at once and nobody was really paying attention or understanding nothing, no way. So then, what more than to mix it up, and you can't understand what that person is saying because that language don't match what you saying. Now you just talking in gibberish. So now everybody shut up because they like, well, sure, I got to figure out who talks my language so I can figure out what to do next. or what group I need to go to so we can figure out how to communicate and get to where we need to be at. And then you got all the separations that happened. And so once the separations happened, it was like, well, this will make it a little bit easier. But now they going to have to eventually come back and they all going to eventually understand each other. They all going to end up learning each other's languages. They're all going to, strive to get an education and do this, that, and the other, get a job, and houses and cars and all the things that's necessary to live as a adult, as a human being. But all of these topics and all of these different things that happen to us and how it happens, all of it is in different stages. All of it is different seasons. I'm still on the wait list. I don't know when 26 come, what will happen in 26. I don't even know if PA will be something that I'm still trying to pursue. I might get a nice job in health informatics. I don't know. 25 is right around the corner. And to get excited and be like, oh, I'm about to go to PA school, and then to be like, oh, no, not yet. Sorry. Oh, that was a trick. Didn't mean to do that. Made you spend a whole bunch of money, and now you gotta wait some more. Or now you gotta spend some more money because, oh, your class is expired. Oh, so you gotta spend even more money. Oh, I'm so sorry. You can't really apply right now because, you don't really meet the requirements, or you really don't meet the prereqs that we are asking you to have, or or you didn't take this one exam. And so now you got to figure out how you're going to pay for this one exam that you already in your head is like, I don't even know if I'm smart enough. And then, you look at the material and you try to go through some of the reviews and the questions that they're asking, and then you doubt what you think is the answer, and then it end up being the answer, and then you be like, oh my god, this make me feel even more stupid. So I don't know, I just was on here ranting and talking about different things that kind of irks my nerves and really bothers me, is that everybody is so blinded by stupid stuff and not really seeing the reality of what is really happening. Like, if you realize it, we're killing each other off. We're not as smart anymore, because now it's like the thinking is out of the question. We don't think about different things anymore. We don't logically make the right decisions anymore. We are pretty much programmed to work these low level jobs. They promise you, oh, if you go get a bachelor's, oh, you'll have a really nice job. Oh no, you need a master's to be able to, kind of go over here and do this particular job. Or, oh no, you need to go get a PhD. Oh no, you need a certification. Oh no, there's always something else that you need after you get the degree, after you get the certification, after you've gotten experience, after all of these things. You still come up short-handed. Ain't that crazy? You still only got enough to pay your bills, to still survive just enough to have a home over your head, a car that's barely functional, a house that, is starting to fall apart because it's older and you can't afford, you can't afford anything new, because that will take your whole check, if not more, especially with utilities. So then you try to do everything in your power to, hustle and you delivering groceries, you delivering food, like picking up people and dropping them off, trying to make money while still trying to maintain a full-time job, a family. If you have a husband or a boyfriend, a fiance, or whatever you want to call it, and still somehow down the road, somehow still falling short, still miserable, and still don't have not a dime to show for it. Make it make sense, people. Well, this is all I have tonight. I go back to work tomorrow, do my half shift. Like I said, next weekend it'll be a full shift, 11 to 7. So I'll be trying to catch up on rest. And hopefully the doctor that I went to see for my neck, the tests will be halfway decent. It has been 2 years since I seen the doctor. The last injection I had was, I want to say, last year in 23. I was supposed to have one earlier this year, but the doctor went missing in action. And so I have not had a neck injection. So I think that's another reason why my neck is, irritated and starting to hurt again. But I'm hopeful that God will protect and keep it, healthy and safe, and that it will heal like it's supposed to, hopefully, the natural way, and not have to have any surgeries. I definitely think that it has definitely been a journey and a challenge with the jobs, the education, with, getting what it was that I wanted to accomplish in life. I knew that I wasn't going to accomplish being a doctor, so I settled for something that was more feasible and that it fit my personality and fit me. And so, being that a PA can do a lot of different roles and different jobs and learn, it fit me because I am the same way. I like to learn different things and do different things. I don't want to be stuck. And I'm damn near almost 40. And I've been recording, I want to say I started recording around 2016, I think, is when I started really recording. And then I picked it up really in 2017, 18, arena. And then, of course, it kind of slowed down by 2019. I used to do the videos a lot more frequently. But at the time, my ex was, why are you making videos and this and that? And so I didn't want to have any, negative energy when I do my videos. So I decided to take a break, pick back up, kind of, catch you up on how life is going, what is happening in life, and pretty much journal or vlog my thoughts and try to, inspire someone to avoid situations or stuff that, that I experienced. Of course, like I said, everyone's story and journey is not the same. But I'm sure something I've said, hopefully, it helped brighten, your thoughts, made you think a little bit more. But I definitely appreciate all of you all that have subscribed, that is still following me and still on this lovely journey with me. Like I said, 2026, I don't know what that looks like. That's the future. So I'm speaking it into existence that I will be a PA certified. I don't know where, if I'll be in Michigan or where I'm gonna be at. But I thank God for the journey I am on right now. I thank God for being able to share my thoughts and, and, you know, try to encourage others to follow their dreams and continue to, fight and pave the way for others to make it a little bit easier. I appreciate anyone that has shared something to help me be better as a human being and as a person. And I hope that, any help that I've done or encouraged or given advice about something, that it helped you and that you grew and that you were able to help somebody else. Until next time, be nice and kind to one another. Ciao.